we officially have a first grader entering into the formal years of a Charlotte Mason education, and I cannot wait to share with y'all exactly what we plan on using this year for our first official year of homeschool, formally in the elementary years. Hello friends, and welcome to my channel. My name is Haley and I am a Christian wife, homeschooling mother of 3, out to redeem my very own literary education while creating a beautiful, rich Charlotte Mason feast for my very own children. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing with y'all what we are using for our homeschool year for our first grader, and we're just going to dive right in. So the backbone of our education plan this year is Ambleside Online. That is a free online Charlotte Mason curriculum that has years 1 all the way through 12 planned out for you. It is a free plan, so for every year or grade, you can print off a PDF that looks a little bit like this, that has a list of all of the subjects, has a list of all of the books you need for 3 12-week terms. So every year has a 36-week plan for the school year broken into 3 12-week terms, and they have all of the books listed for what books you need to get to for what week. Now it is up to you to either purchase the books, grab them from your library, download them to your Kindle, or get them for free off of online. And what I love about Ambleside Online is that they have links to all of these things for you, and they have plans for pretty much every subject except for just a few. So for year 1, the subjects are Bible, history and tales, natural history, which is science, literature and tales, poetry, geography, artist study, folk and hymn song, composer study, and they create plans for all of these things. And it's also up to you as the homeschool mother to add in things like handwriting and copy work and nature study, just kind of based off of what you want to do. And they do have suggestions for foreign language and for math. So while they don't pick one specific book for this, they do have suggestions. And so I pulled from that list in order to build our curriculum out to have all of those things. But we are going to try to be an Ambleside Online purist this year. We're going to try to follow the plan exactly as it is laid out, just to see how that works for us. Is Ambleside going to work? Is it way too much? Especially since I have 3 children. Now, what I love about Ambleside Online is that their curriculum plan doesn't change. This has been time tested. There have been students who have started with Ambleside Online and have graduated from Ambleside Online, and the book list doesn't change from year to year. So the books I buy for my year 1 student this year will be books that my 2 younger children will eventually use if they also use Ambleside Online. So the books you purchased can be reused for children, as the books themselves aren't workbooks that they're writing in. They're just beautiful books that you read. But I did purchase a few other resources just to aid us along, and the other Charlotte Mason curriculum company that we are using is simply Charlotte Mason. We're using this for math, so I bought book 1 of the Charlotte Mason Elementary Arithmetic series, written by Rochelle Barberina, and I'm so excited about this. It's a beautiful, I don't want to say textbook, because that's not really Charlotte Mason's style when it comes to math. Charlotte Mason believes in mental math and doing oral work in math so that you really grasp the concepts in your head. Now, a lot of book 1 is going to be material that she's already seen from her kindergarten year in The Good and the Beautiful. However, this is taught differently, and I want her to be able to do that mental math and not just worksheet math. So if we're working through this book and these concepts are just too easy and too boring for her, we will go ahead and get book 2, but I would like to review with her and try it in this style first. So that is our plan for everyday math. And for foreign language, we're planning on teaching Spanish in our home because Charlotte Mason believed in teaching French to her students so that her students could converse with their fellow countrymen. It was very common in England to be able to meet someone who spoke French. But living in the United States of America, Spanish is the second language, and I can tell y'all in our community there are a lot of people who only speak Spanish as their first language, and there are a lot of signs and commercials now in our area that's completely written or spoken in Spanish. So that is what we are doing for foreign language. And I purchased this resource also from Simply Charlotte Mason, and that is Speaking Spanish with Miss Mason and Francois. And this was Charlotte Mason's approach to teaching foreign language. And that is not just kind of the mechanical way you might have learned a second language in high school, breaking down all of the rules and regulations. You just dive right in with the language. And an example of that in our very first lesson, you just dive right into the language. And in the very first lesson, you speak a sentence in English, I open the book, and then you speak the same sentence in Spanish, abro el libro, and so on and so forth and so on and so forth. So you're diving straight into the language without worrying about rules and structure, because that is how we as humans born into the world learn and pick up language, just by hearing and correlation and connection. So I'm really excited for this. We have officially started day one of school at the time of this video, and she loves Spanish. She said this was her favorite skill subject that we did today, which was our first day of school. So I'm excited to learn this with her because it's fun for me too. And I'm refreshing my Spanish and getting into that rhythm of language again. And I think this is just a really beautiful way to learn. And for grammar, Charlotte Mason really focuses on copy work. So just copying really beautiful language and getting used to the rhythm of words and the structure of words and sentences and how they are formed. But I wanted something just a little bit more formal, just because I felt like I needed that extra holding hand of comfort. And I bought Gentle Grammar Level 1, an adaptation of new language exercises for primary schools by C.C. Long. And I just found this one on Amazon. I think it was under $10 or around $10, pretty cheap. And it is basically copy work, but it's just a little bit more formal. And when I feel like I'm not really sure what I should do for copy work that day, I just wanted something a little more structured and already done to grab so that I don't have to think about it. So for the most part during our week, I'll just have her do some copy work from Bible or a reading into a composition notebook I got from Walmart. But for days when I'm just not sure or I want something a little more formal, I have a backup that I can grab that was pretty cheap. And I'll be sure to leave a link below to all of the things that I'm talking about this video so that you can find them for your homeschool if you want. And then the last kind of book that I purchased that was outside of Ambleside Online's curriculum was Drawing Textbook by Bruce McIntyre. And I bought this from Rainbow Resource. I saw this book on America's channel, A Heart for Home Education. She is also a classical Charlotte Mason homeschooling mom. And I thought I immediately need that because Ambleside Online does have, as part of their weekly program, kind of listed on their PDF, art, but specifically drawing. I have no idea how to teach drawing, but I have a very artistic child who loves art and drawing, and so I wanted something more formal, and this just looked easy. It's basically just drawing and copying, and the lessons are super simple. You're just drawing and copying what's in here and reading this to your child as you draw it together. So I'm excited to do this, and I think she's really going to enjoy it. But the rest of our curriculum is all Ambleside Online, and so you're looking at books like Parables from Nature, Tales from Shakespeare, The Blue Fairy Book, Aesop's Fables, the Bible. You have an Old Testament lesson and a New Testament lesson twice a week. So that's 4 formal Bible lessons within the week, which I really love. Hymn and folk song, artist study, composer study. You focus on one artist and one composer each term, and you can use this for all of your children at once, not just for your first grader. So I like that there's some kind of group and family subjects that you can do. And for every term, they also have recitation things for your child to memorize. So Bible verses and poems, and I made some printables for the ones just on Canva for myself. Really simple, but I love what Ambleside Online does with their curriculum plan. All of these books look so fun, they look so beautiful. On day 1, my daughter and I particularly loved the story A Lesson in Faith from Parables from Nature. That was beautifully written, and that was just right up our alley. So I can't wait to really dive in with her on all the rich literature that I never read as a child. I get to read and experience that with her for the very first time, and I can't wait. Like I said, this year we're just going to try to be an Ambleside Online purist. We're going to read these beautiful books, and then I'm keeping a narration notebook for all of those subjects. So I'm just reading them to her, and then she has to tell it back to me in her own words. And I am writing down what she is saying. And you do that for the first 3 or 4 years of formal schooling, if I'm not mistaken. They will orally give you their narration and you write it down for them. But when they get to a point where they can write that out themselves and read for themselves, that's what they'll do. So for now, this is what we're trying. We are going to stick to the plan as closely as possible and see if it's too much, see if it's just right, and let y'all know what we think on the way. Day 1 of school went absolutely phenomenal. Her narrations were just adorable and so sweet. And the books were fun to read for me as a mom. And I'm particularly excited about geography. Which I was not expecting. So for Ambleside Online, you have elementary geography, Charlotte Mason, and then home geography by C.C. Long, who also inspired that gentle grammar workbook that I have. But when I was actually flipping through these, and that's what I noticed about all of the books, all of the stories are only 1, 2, or 3 pages long. They're not long to get through it all. It looks like a lot and overwhelming, but you're only reading like 5 to 10 minutes of a story aloud to your child. Maybe not even that much. But in geography, there's also poetry in here about the world, and sometimes that's all the lesson is for the day. And so looking at this is a really beautiful way to look at the world as well. So geography is one of those subjects I was expecting to be kind of monotonous and boring for me to teach, but once I started flipping through some of these lessons and realizing that they're a lot shorter and a lot more beautiful and poetic than what I thought, I'm excited about all of the subjects now. The only one that I'm a little bit worried about in the Charlotte Mason world is handicrafts, because I know nothing about handicrafts. And this year we're gonna try to embroider together. I feel like that's safe. I feel like that's simple. I feel like you can either go with a pattern for embroidery, or you can just draw your own and stitch and do your thing. And I feel like that's a really simple thing to do. So for handicrafts, that's what we're gonna try. But I cannot wait to see what the year holds. Please let me know what you're planning to do with your first grader and what style or method of education that you all use in your homeschool. And Lord willing, I will talk to you all next time. Happy homeschooling, friends.